welcome to the hashtag Why Is This News podcast. I am back. I have been gone for about 2 weeks now. That's because of school stuff and stuff like that. So I wasn't able to put out another episode of the podcast. But a lot of stuff has happened within these past 2 weeks since I've been gone. I want to talk about the story first. First off, I want to talk about the story that just happened, like probably either last night or 2 nights ago. Before we get into the Kanye West and Drake shit, I did make a video on that story. It was the first video I actually made when I got back home. You guys can go to check out that video if you guys want to see my initial thoughts of it when everything was happening. But now that everything is out and even more stuff has come out by Kanye West on Twitter, we will get into all of that kind of stuff. But this first story I want to start off with is this Offset and Cardi B stuff. Now, I haven't talked about Cardi B and the cheating allegations or other stuff. I haven't talked about it ever since she put out her album Invasion of Privacy, when I did my whole entire album review on that about 8 months ago or so. And I gave my thoughts on it then. And as an album, I believe it's been nominated for Album of the Year at the Grammys. Album of the Year, I know it's for Hip Hop Album of the Year. I'm pretty sure it's for that as well, Rap Album of the Year. But I'm not 100% sure if it's nominated for Album of the Year overall as well. I have to check on that again. My overall thoughts on the album, I did my review on it. I thought it was a good album. It was a good album. Personally, for me, it wouldn't be as far as, like, if I was to put the Grammy nominations, I wouldn't include it in my top albums of the year, but that's just my opinion. But Cardi B has had a great year musically wise. She's had a great year. She's been on the Billboard charts, it seems like, all year long. So she's been doing very well for herself. Very well for herself. And throughout the album, I came into it wondering if Offset was going to be talked about, because even before the album release, there were rumors that Offset was cheating on Cardi B. And one of those girls was a girl that was complaining to say that she was pregnant with Offset's child. Turned out to be a hoax. That girl was lying the whole entire time. It was actually her friend who was carrying a child, and she was posing as if it was hers. And it was a whole big scandal. She got exposed for it. I'm not even gonna say her name because she's like oh my god. Yeah, y'all know who I'm talking about. who did that hoax and everything else. But Cardi B talked a lot about it, especially in the song "Be Careful," where she really talked about Offset and was like, look here, like, I could leave you at any point in time if I wanted to. Like, you're nothing and everything else, all that stuff. You want to go mess with another chick and all this other shit. And I was listening to the album. I was listening to it. I'm like, half of this album is about Offset. Now, the other songs, like I Like It and what's the other song? Cardi. Well, that's about Offset too. But like what's the other? Her biggest hit. You can fuck with me if you wanted to. I can't even think of the song right now. It's been so long since that song came out. But I mean, she's had other songs on the album that weren't about him. But half of the album, if you really listen to it, is about Offset and her feelings toward Offset. Now, she denied it at the time, talking about how she was just talking just from a woman's perspective, giving women their perspective on how other guys are. But when you're making music, you're most likely talking about something. You're not rapping all the time just to save your breath, unless you're like a mumble rapper. Honestly, you're not rapping just to say stuff. Honestly, you're saying something that means something to you. You're not just rapping about anything. That's why you make music. You rap about music. Most artists make music to spill out their actual feelings about stuff. They don't have to do it like in person or say something about it in the public eye. They just say it through their music. And a couple months passed, and then everything seemed to be cool between Cardi B and Offset until these strippers came out all of a sudden, and they were alleged to be cheating with Offset. And when that story came out, probably like a week later or so, Cardi B finally came out and said, me and Offset were broken up, everything else. She said that she's not gonna have, that she's still the baby daddy of her child, Culture. Which is a weird name. Who the hell names their child Culture, bruh? Like, there's some of these celebrities, bruh, they be coming up with names for their children. It's just, you just be scratching your head. Like, I understand they want to be unique and be different with their children's name, but like, some of y'all just be making up some names, bro. Like, Culture, like, come on, fam. Like, come on, fam, really? Now, some people may like that stuff, but for me, hell no, bro. Hell no. You always want to be different. You always want to have your child have a different, be unique, stuff like that. But that's like just some, that's some, I don't even know what the hell that is. Honestly, I don't know what the hell that is. But Offset has taken it into extreme matters of trying to get Cardi B back, and he did this. This was at Rolling Loud. I believe this was either a Saturday. I think it was a Saturday night, so it was 2 nights ago. I'm recording this podcast on Monday, but this was 2 nights ago when Offset went on the Rolling Loud stage in front of probably 20 to 40,000 people and did this.
Make some noise! Make some noise! Oh shit! If you don't see me inside, bro, because in front of the world, I love you. Whatever I gotta do to show you, bro. I'm good. I love you, bro.
I just want to say thank you so much for everybody that's been supporting me, that's been loving me, and that feel like they need to defend me, right, wrong, or indifferent. I don't want people like to just keep doing fuck shit, saying fuck shit. Violating my baby father is not gonna make me feel any better, because at the end of the day, that's still family. Unfortunately, we going through things, and you know, it's not private. It became public, and I just want things to die down. I just need time so we could see eye to eye. I can't predict the future. I don't know, but the whole coming at my baby father bullshit, that doesn't make me feel any better. And I just want to say thank you, everybody. Respect my wishes. I love you so much. Goodbye.
So you guys see that Offset is really trying to get Cardi B back. Now, was this a start? It can be, but at the same time, I don't know if this was the best thing to do it in public, to try and peer pressure Cardi B into getting back with you. I don't know if that was the best thing to do. Just try to get the public back on your side, because this relationship has become very, very public now. It almost feels like some YouTube type shit, because you know how the couples channels be on YouTube. It kind of feels like we're all in Cardi B and Offset's business now. Like, we almost know half of what's going on in the relationship. I'm sure we don't know all of it, but we know about half of what's going on in the relationship, because half of their relationship is public, just like how these couple YouTube channels are. And that's one thing that if I ever get a girlfriend and I have her on YouTube and stuff like that, I probably would never make it to where it's a couples channel, even though that is the way to earn money these days on YouTube. I probably would never, ever do that, because putting your relationship online just seems to always cause problems. It just always does. Like, it's never a good outcome putting your relationship on YouTube at all. It just never is. It just never is. So, it's the same thing here. Putting your relationship all out for the public to see, is gonna put peer pressure on Cardi B by some of her fans, even Offset fans, like, hey, get back together with Offset, get back together with him. He's a good guy. He didn't mean to do it. Oh, he'll never cheat on you again. Bullshit. Offset is a rapper. Offset is a guy that he has always been with groupies. He has other children, people. He has other children with other baby mamas. He has other baby mamas, people. It's not just Cardi B that he has a child with. So to think that Offset won't do this again is I just don't see it. I just don't know how. The black people, he must be Puerto Rican or something, because as we know, black men don't cheat. So Offset must be must have some other culture in him, some other ethnicity in him, because black men don't cheat, guys. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Yeah, this is tough for Cardi. It's a tough situation. She even performed right after. I don't know. That would have been. She gutted it out. She went through it. She eventually, I guess. I mean, he left after. They said what they said. He had to say, said his piece, and everything else. And Cardi B looked angry. It's like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Let's look like she was saying, like, why are you doing this? Why are you here? And they seemed like they had like a little argument, a little discussion. Like they're gonna talk about it later and stuff like that behind closed doors. It's just honestly what they should be doing, is talking about it behind closed doors, not in the public eye for everyone to see. Because like I said, that's just looks like some YouTube type stuff, like putting your information out for the public to see. I don't understand it. I don't get it. That's just my opinion on it. On the Offset and Cardi B thing. Will they get back together? I don't know. Some people think this could possibly also be fake, because Offset's album, well, it was supposed to drop this weekend. He kind of pulled a 21 Savage and went like, oops, I forgot to drop my album, head ass. Honestly, it could be fake. This shit could be fake, because having this all public and all this other kind of stuff, it could be a fake relationship. You know, a lot of people love to do fake stuff these days. You almost can't believe anything that happens on the internet now. Hell, I mean the Christian dude, I believe is on YouTube. He put out a whole picture, trying to impersonate like he was Travis Scott with another woman. And I think he said within like 18 hours it went viral, and everyone was thinking that Travis Scott had cheated on Kylie Jenner and stuff like that. And then he put the video out, and top twist. It wasn't so much like I would say more the core fans of Travis Scott and Kylie Jenner were angry, but to me, I think it was funny, and I think it was a life lesson. Like, don't believe everything that's on the internet. Do your research. I understand that it possibly could have ruined their relationship. I understand that. But it's what these blogs and what these reporters have to understand is, don't believe every single story. Do your research. Do your due diligence. Don't just put out the story because you want to be the first one to put out the story and get all the clicks and everything else, so you can say that you broke the story of Travis Scott is cheating on Kylie Jenner. You're the first person to break the story. No, do your research, know what's going on before it comes out. So that's why I say also that this could be fake, because it's so public. All the gimmicks that are going on, Offset coming on stage, Cardi B putting it on the internet saying that they broke up. I mean, it's very interesting. I mean, Offset's album, I'm assuming it's gonna come out this weekend now, this upcoming weekend now. I'm assuming it's gonna come out then. We shall see if it comes out then. Yeah, it could be just extra promotion to surround Offset's name, so people will go and listen to what maybe Offset has to say on the album about Cardi B. So he'll be the third Migos to put out his solo project. Quavo's solo project was was not very good. It was, ladies and gentlemen, there's probably one song off the album I listened to, and that's the song with Drake. Other than that, that's it. That album is not very good at all, in my opinion. It's just not very good at all. Hi, Sloan. How are you?
I finished my stuff for senior year. Half semester.
Congratulations. My sister finished her stuff for senior year. Wow. So, you want to say hi to the podcast people?
Hi guys.
Oh, okay.
Bye guys.
Okay, bye. That's her sister. But yeah, like I said, we don't know if it's fake. We don't know if this Offset and Cardi B shit is fake. We don't know. It could be all for publicity for Offset's album. We shall see if Cardi B and Offset do get back together. If they do get back together, your sister said no. But if they do get back together, it's part of me will think, okay, maybe this was fake, because for them to get back together after Offset has been caught cheating multiple times, that's tough. That's not a good look for Cardi B, honestly, if she get back together with Offset, because it just makes it look like this was all for publicity at that point. So, yeah. Now, let's get to the shit that has been going crazy all weekend long, and that is Kanye West and Drake. Now, like I said in the beginning, I did make a video on this with my initial thoughts on it, but Kanye West didn't stop tweeting after I made that video. He did not stop tweeting at all. So let's start with the timeline here, ladies and gentlemen. All the way back to when, before Drake's album came out, when he was working on it, when the baby was born, when Adonis was born by the ex-porn star, by her, and everything else. So, this is hidden. This story actually came out almost a whole year ago. I remember that there was a rumor that Drake had a child, and it was with this ex-porn star. And I was like, wait, what? What is this about? It was just a rumor. The story immediately, when I say immediately, it immediately got cleaned up. We didn't hear anything else about it for months. For months, we didn't hear anything about it. So, we just assumed that it was just a chick trying to get clout out for Drake, trying to say that it was his child and everything else. That's what we just assumed, because it just flew right under the radar. Let's fast forward to, let's say, May. Drake's making the album. He's making Scorpion. He's working on the album. There's no real kind of beef, any kind of real beef really going crazy right now. There's nothing really going crazy on as far as beefs. Meek Mill is, I don't think he has dealt with this case. I don't think he's dealing with this case right now. I think maybe he is. I think maybe he is dealing with this case at this point, at this time. I can't remember when. Excuse me. But he's making the album, and somewhere in Wyoming, he's helping out Kanye West with his album as well. And, they're in the studio, and Drake's like, I'm going to play you a track because I have something coming very, very big on this album, Scorpion. So he plays the track with the Mariah Carey sample, Emotionless is the name of the song. Someone told me in the comments in the last video that I made about it. The song is Emotionless, where he talks about his child Adonis. And Drake, I guess at the time, had only told like a very select few people that he only truly, I believe, trusts, and people that he would only truly tell. Drake and Kanye have been working together for years now. For years. They had a little bit of a fallout, I believe, like 2 years ago, but they rekindled their relationship and got back together. And it was like a very low-key kind of thing that they had a fallout, but they eventually worked things out, everything else. So they're back cool again. So they're working on the album. Drake is writing the song. He actually wrote the song Yikes for Kanye West. He actually wrote that song for him. That's probably like the best song off Kanye West's album. But he showed him that song, and he didn't surely show anyone else. Fast forward probably like to June, I believe Daytona comes out. And the song Infrared has a jab at Drake talking about it was said by Nas, but it was written by Quentin, I believe the line is. And we all know that Quentin Miller was exposed by Meek Mill for being the ghostwriter to Drake. And that's when Drake's pen has been challenged ever since now. And so Drake, being a competitive rapper as he is, he went back in the booth. And literally the day after Pusha T's album released, he put out the W Freestyle. Now, the W Freestyle, I reacted to it on this channel. It was pretty darn good. It was a pretty darn good diss. Excuse me. People were saying it possibly was back-to-back 2.0. Because I titled it, Is This Back-to-Back 2.0? Because it's like, it was a pretty darn good diss. I didn't know how Pusha T was going to come back from it. I'm like, because I knew Drake and Pusha T had been going at it for years. It was like a low-key sneak diss beef. If you're really a hip-hop head, you've been paying attention to it. Pusha T and Drake have been going back at it for about 2 or 3 years. Probably even longer than that, honestly. And it's honestly because I believe when Meek Mill put out that story about the ghostwriter stuff, and Pusha T, I guess, just honestly can't respect someone that doesn't write their own shit. So, Drake goes out, puts out the W Freestyle. He thinks, oh, he's got it in the bag. He brings up Pusha T's wife, how he got forced into marriage and stuff like that, and because he finally married his wife that he had been together with for so many years. So we wait 3 days. People are all talking. Oh, Pusha T shook. He's taking 3 days to respond. We don't know. Oh no, he may have lost the battle. He already lost the battle and everything else. Then story of Adidon drops. And story of Adidon drops, and the child Adonis is brought up, and everyone's in shock. I'm in shock, reacting to the song. I'm like, you're hiding a child? Holy shit. It's over with. Drake, you're finished. I don't know how the hell you can come back from this. But of course, it's Drake, you know. I mean, he's still a very popular artist, so it didn't ruin his entire career. But it made people look at Drake in a whole entirely different light, as like, you've been hiding a child from the world and no one knew about it. No one knew about Drake having a child at all. Nobody. Nobody, except for like a select few people that were around him, knew about Drake's child. So that story about it on song came out. Now apparently there was a track response that was going to come out afterwards. But Kanye West, I guess, spoke to Jay Prince, I believe his name is, Jay Prince, and told Jay Prince to tell Drake, don't put that track out. Don't put it out, because that track honestly was going to ruin not only Pusha T, but Kanye West specifically career. Because if you listen to the W Freestyle, honestly, that diss song is more about Kanye West than Pusha T. I didn't realize it listening to it. But honestly, that diss song is more of a diss to Kanye West, more so than Pusha T. Which is very interesting, because at this time, the news hadn't even come out yet that Drake was hiding a child. Which I found very interesting. So that happens, and so the track that was supposed to come out, Jay Prince advised Drake not to put it out. Drake came out on the shop like he did with LeBron James and Maverick Carter, and basically said that would have took him to a place that he did not want to go to. And I'm assuming that place is when I see you, it may be a life. I'm not saying that this is 100%. It could be a life and death situation. That's how angry Drake was at the fact that Pusha T put this information out. And Drake automatically assumed that Kanye West gave him all this information. There's no doubt in his mind that he got this information from him. So, the shot comes out with him, where Drake addresses all this stuff, saying that something is going to have to happen to Pusha T, or something's going to have to happen to Kanye West, basically also ensuring that something's going to happen to Kanye West too as well, in order for this to almost get resolved at this point. It's like it's gotten to that kind of level. Well, Pusha T went on the Joe Budden podcast, said no, I ain't get that information from Kanye West. He didn't tell me shit. I got it from your own producer, OVO 40. Now, when I heard this, I'm like, okay, someone's lying here. Someone is lying here. Either Pusha T is lying his ass off to Joe Budden, which usually, if you're lying to Joe Budden usually is a guy that can tell if someone is telling the truth or lying. He seemed like he felt like it was a genuine thing. Like it could be a possibility that Pusha T could have got this information from OVO 40. Now, let's fast forward to when Drake put out the song with the album. Well, the album. Let's go back to the song with the album, where the In My Feelings song, where he's talking about Kiki, do you love me? Are you riding? And apparently, Kiki is referred to as Kim Kardashian. So Kanye West puts out this whole video, like not even like, I don't know, it took him like I don't feel like it was 2 or 3 months after the album came out. He was right around the train talking about it and stuff like that, talking about how can you put that kind of information out there, saying almost like it's insinuating that Drake has done something with Kim Kardashian. Like it almost feels like that's what Kanye West does not want to get put out there. Like Drake has had some sort of sexual relations with Kim Kardashian in the past, and that bothers Kanye West to the point to where he might honestly crack. If he hasn't cracked already, honestly. And now we come to about this weekend. And Kanye West goes on a Twitter rant. And he starts this Twitter rant because he gets a text from this anonymous person, I guess his name, this text from Free, saying that Drake wants clearance for a record using one of Kanye West's old song samples. He wants to sample one of Kanye West's old songs. Now, this is a part right here where I can understand why Kanye West would get angry. Now, this is the part I kind of missed because like I said, I made the video when he was ranting, he was tweeting like nonstop. I didn't really go back and look back at all the stuff that Kanye West, the original reason why Kanye West went on the Twitter rant. Well, he went on this Twitter rant because apparently Drake wanted us to sample one of Kanye West's songs. And he's like, do you see this fake shit here? Are you kidding me? All this time you've been threatening to hurt me and all this other stuff and threatening Pusha T and all this other shit, and you come around and ask for a sample for a damn song? Like, are you kidding me? Now that I can agree with Kanye West on. Like, if you're gonna beef with the dude, how you gonna ask for a sample for one of his songs to put in one of your songs? Like, come on, Drake. Come on, Drake. How did you think that conversation was going to go, honestly? How did you honestly think that conversation was going to go? So, then he goes on a Twitter rant. Then he also says that Drake called him. And apparently Drake called him, and apparently, according to Kanye West, he threatened him, only him, he threatened his family. Now that's when Kanye West really started going crazy on Twitter, talking about you threaten my family, you threaten this, you threaten that. He just critics just started going off on him and shit like that. And looking at it from afar, it looks like Kanye West is off his meds. He's talking about how he's not you going after a person that is not in the best state, that's not stable. So Kanye West basically admitting all the other bullshit we're talking about with the Trump shit, that basically he's not in the right state of mind right now. He's taking medicine to try and deal with his like mental illness and stuff like that. And here's my thoughts on it. Drake has a right to be angry with Kanye West. He has every right to believe that if he played that track for Kanye West back in May, or in May or the beginning of June, whatever it was, and he's one of the very, very few people he told that I have a child and I'm getting ready to announce it on this album that I have a child, then Drake has every reason to believe that Kanye West is the reason why Pusha T got that information. Now, when Pusha T tries to backhand that and say, no, I got it from your man's Drake, your man that you have been rocking with for years, your producer, your guy, the person that's a part of your label, OVO. When he says that, it takes you into a loop into wondering who the hell is lying in this situation. Is it Kanye West in his camp, or is it Drake in his camp? Now, people believe, for me, I believe Kanye West is the liar because his mental state right now he's not in the best mental state right now. So honestly, I tend to believe Drake more in this instance than Kanye West. Because who else, honestly, would tell Pusha T other than Kanye West himself? Because Pusha T is a part of good music. Why would OVO 40 go and tell Pusha T some information like that? Like that is beyond me. I mean, beyond me that he would tell some sort of information like that. So that's just my opinion, overall opinion on it. I will see where this heads. Hopefully this does not end up in a point where Kanye West ends up hurt or anything like that. Because also Kanye West believes that Drake paid those fans to come and run up on Pusha T's stage when he was in Toronto to try to attack him and shit like that. Throw water balloons at him and water and stuff like that at him. And he believed that was Drake's people trying to get him, when honestly it could be just fans, really, really big stands. Because you saw in the past when Joe Budden put out those diss tracks on Drake, and those fans came on Joe Budden's door and started messing with him, and then Joe Budden was seen running after him, and I was like one of the best memes. I believe this was in 2016, 2017 when Joe Budden put those diss tracks out, and he was like, "Look, you will get killed out here trying to fuck with me." like Drake stands, they can be crazy too. Drake stands aren't the biggest stands in the world, but there are some that are crazy. Like they would do some crazy stuff. they are about some crazy stuff when they feel like their favorite rapper has been attacked. So we'll see where this goes from here on. I have no clue what's gonna happen after this. We shall see if Kanye West and Drake can this probably take years before they could probably see eye to eye again, especially with this. Probably decades, honestly, before they could ever rekindle this relationship, because it's that bad. So, yeah. That's my thoughts on the Kanye West and Drake stuff. You guys can let me know what you guys think in the comments. So, on to an album that I have been anticipating all year long. That is Meek Mill's album, Championships. I want to pull up the track. Let's see, pull up the track list real quick, because this album was very good. Now, is it my favorite Meek Mill project? No. But it's a project that shows a lot of growth in Meek Mill. It showed a lot of insight into the court case, how he was feeling and how he wants to be moving on and how he wants to be a part of prison reform. And it's a very, 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 very enticing album. Hold on one sec. I'm trying to pull up this man's track list and I cannot find it. How hard is it, kid, to find a track list of the album? This should not be that hard. There we go. All right. So I want to go through this song by song. So we're going to start up with the intro song. And y'all know how Meek Mill is with the intro songs. Fire. Always fire. He used the I really apologize. I should know this sample. I should know the artist, but it's like a very famous song. The sample that he used, I severely apologize for not knowing at the top of my head right now, because I know this is a very legendary song. Everyone knows this song, so don't kill me in the comments for not knowing this. Okay, but it's a very legendary sample that he used. Intro is amazing. Always has a great intro. Dreams with Nightmares intro will always be probably to me the greatest rap intro of all time. Honestly, I don't think there's any intro that's ever been better than that intro that Meek Mill made. Then we get to the song number 2, Trauma. Trauma is a very good song. Gives us insight into the court case. Gives us insight into everything that's going on with the prison reform, everything else. Uptown Vibes. I'm not that big of a fan of this song. Now, this is one of the two songs they released prior to the album coming out. I wasn't a big fan of this song. I know it has Annual A and Fabulous on it. Fabulous always with the clever bars. It had that Spanish sound feel, but I just don't think Papa Mitra, who was actually he's actually the person that produced the instrumental to my intro. Actually, Papa Mitra boy. He produced this song, and I just wasn't feeling this song when it first came out. I just wasn't, and I'm still not really feeling it. Honestly, I'm just not that big of a fan of it. On Me, number 4 song with Cardi B. I did not like Meek Mill's verse on this one. I'm not gonna lie to you. I did not like Meek Mill's verse on this. Cardi B's verse was very good. Meek Mill's was to me. It wasn't anything. The chorus, I really did not like the chorus at all. So this was another song that was a miss for me. So we're like 2 out of 4 right now. Now let's get to the song that is wow. This song is a whoa. What's Free with Rick Ross and Jay-Z. This song, man, if this song had came out anytime before October or before the Grammy nominations come out, it honestly could have got nominated for a Grammy. Honestly. Because this song is like, wow. Because Meek Mill, his verse, probably is the best verse he had on the entire album. Overall. And he still didn't have the best verse on the entire song. He still didn't have the best verse. And it is probably the best verse he had on the entire album. The best rapping he did on the album was on this song. And he didn't even have the best verse on the goddamn album. This is crazy on this whole song. Rick Ross did his thing. He probably was the last one, but he did his thing as well. Jay-Z. Verse of the year. Verse of the year. There's no debate. We're not talking about it. I don't want to hear no one even try to bring up anyone else's verse. We've had 2 weeks to analyze this verse. I haven't heard anything better than this verse from Jay-Z. I haven't. When he started out with the 3/5 shit, I'm like, hold up, where are we going with this shit? When I heard that, I'm like, just to start, he wasn't even rapping then. He was just starting off. When I heard him say that, I'm like, oh no. Where is Jay-Z going? Now, when you first listen to it, you don't catch everything. But after listening to it multiple times, you just listen to the verse. Like, you catch something every single time. I caught something every single time new. Every single time I listen to this song. Every single time. And I'm just sitting here like, man. Just when you think Jay-Z, it's time for him to hang it up. He gives you a verse like this where you're like, that's why he's one of the greatest. That's why he's one of the greatest. Because it's just like, how does he continuously keep doing this year in and year out? I mean, the man put out the album with Beyonce, the joint album. The album was just okay. I did have an album review on it. It got blocked, unfortunately. But I did do an album review on it, and it was a pretty good album. Then they had the Ape Shit song where the reference song came out with the Migos, and it was basically Beyonce's entire verse was written by Quavo and Offset. But that wasn't that big of a deal because Beyonce isn't viewed as like someone that is just like always writing her own music. I'm sure she's had other people writing her music before. That's not anything new. So when people try to make a big deal about that, I was like, yeah, okay. But yeah, man, Jay-Z, I mean, he did his thing on that song. Respect the Game, another really good song by Meek Mill. More on his conscious shit. More on that, talking about where he came up from. Splash Warning was just okay. I did not like Future on the hook at all. They could have left him out. I'm a huge Roddy Ricch fan. I believe this dude is next. He has a sound that is a little bit different. It's not too much different, but it's a little bit different than a lot of other artists. He does remind me a little bit. Probably is why I like him a lot, because he has a similar sound, a little bit to Lil Durk, and I'm a huge Lil Durk fan myself. I love Roddy Ricch. He, I believe he's next. Like I said, I've been a fan of him even before the Die Young song came out. I knew about him even before that song even came out. Before that song really blew him up, I knew about him even before then. And let me tell you, man, this dude is next. Young Thug, he was okay on the song. I just did not like Future on the hook at all. Honestly, did it. Meek Mill's verses, and so Splash Warning is just an okay song. Championships. People are going crazy about this sample on this album. But the crazy part is, I've heard this Meek Mill has rapped on this exact same sample before on, I believe it was a leaked song that him and The Game had like almost a whole year or two ago. This is before him and The Game was beefing, because honestly, I think The Game was only beefing with Meek Mill because Drake was beefing with Meek Mill, so that's the reason why they started beefing. Honestly, I think that's the only reason why they ended up really having issues, because, you know, The Game really rocks with Drake and stuff like that. Now that him and Drake have patched their stuff, now The Game and him have patched their stuff. I don't know. It just seems a little fishy to me that now all of a sudden, now that Drake is look cool with Meek Mill, now The Game is cool with Meek Mill. Y'all don't find that interesting? That's just me. But yeah, the championship song, him and The Game had a song. Go listen to it. It's a song that came out like 2 years ago. That they had, and it's the exact same sample, people. It's the exact same sample, but it's just the beat is made a little bit more different than it was on this song. But other than that, I mean, it was a really good song though. Like, the sample is still amazing. Like, it's still a good song. So it's probably the best. It is probably to me the best sounding track on this entire album. Sounding wise, like production wise, probably the best one. Then we get to the song with Drake called "Going Bad Now." When this song, I saw this on the track list the day of the album coming out, I got hyped. I'm like, oh shit, are they really doing it? I honestly didn't think it would happen on this album. I knew the song was gonna come. I just didn't think it would happen on this album this quickly. But it did. Apparently Drake sent in the verse like literally like 2-3 days before the album came out. So then Meek Mill wrote his verse and did it. So this song was made in like 2 or 3 days, which is why I think this song is not the greatest song in the world, because this song was made literally in like 2 or 3 days. Because it sounds like it. It honestly sounds like it. they didn't put forth their best verses, but Drake always floating on the beat and everything else. Makes songs sound good. Louisiana, I think that's the producer on it. He did his thing on the production wise. Meek Mill's verse is okay, but it's gonna do what it's gonna do because it's Meek Mill and Drake, so it's gonna be a popular song. I think it's like I think for the billboards it's top 5 already. I believe. So yeah, that's it's doing very well for itself right now. It's doing very, very, very well for itself. So yeah, it's figured to be the song on the billboards. But the best song to me is the "What's Free" song with Rick Ross and Jay-Z. Off this entire album, Almost Slipped. Just an okay song, wasn't nothing too crazy. The Tic Tac Toe song was a little bit better than I expected because I saw Kodak Black and I just do not like Kodak Black at all. People, I just don't. I just don't. I can't get into his sound at all. I just can't. Kodak Black is just an annoying voice to me. But Meek Mill's verses were really, really good on this song. That's the reason why I was able to say this song was better than I expected. Kodak Black on the hook, didn't like him on the hook. I just can't get into him. The 24/7 song with LMA. This is a song for the ladies. Most definitely, this is a song for the ladies. He sampled Beyonce's old song, Me, Myself, and I. Very good to have LMA on the upcoming female artist in the game. She did her thing on it. Meek Mill did his thing on it. So this is most definitely a song for the ladies. Oodles and Noodles Babies. This is another song that came out before the album came out. This is the other song that he put out. I didn't like the production on this song, but the bars and the stuff he was talking about was very, very good. It was very, very good on this song. I just did not like the production that much on this song. I just was not a fan of it. Pay You Back with 21 Savage. I didn't really like that song. 100 Summers. I was a little on that song. Wasn't the biggest fan of that song. With the Shits is honestly the worst song on this album. With the Shits with Melly, no. he should have left that song off. I know Melly is I guess she's a new rap artist. Meek Mill's trying to put her on, but I'm sorry, no. You could have left that one off the album, my guy. I am sorry. Stuck in My Ways was pretty good. It was a pretty good song. Nothing more than that. Dangerous was off the 4-song EP that it released earlier this year. That song is really good. Another one for the ladies as well. That's a very good song. Really enjoyed that song. Cold Hearted Part 2. Not better than Cold Hearted Part 1 that was on Dreams Worth More Than Money on that album. But it's still decent. I didn't particularly care for the production that much. I think that was the problem with me on that one. The production wasn't the greatest. But he was rapping really well in that song as well. So, I would say, out of the 19 songs, I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, 10. I would say I enjoyed 12 out of the 19 songs on this album. I would say about 12 of the 19 songs I enjoyed at this album, which is pretty good. It's pretty good. So it's probably like 7 or 8 songs I could do without, honestly. If I'm at this right, yeah. So I could do without about 7 songs on this album that were on this album. Overall, it's exactly what I expected from Meek Mill. Is it my favorite project from Meek Mill? No. Honestly, Dream Chasers 2, the mixtape, will honestly always be the best project to me in my eyes that he's ever put out. That's just my opinion. Some people may say the Dreams and Nightmares album was his best work. I honestly still think it's the Dream Chasers 2 mixtape was his best work. Y'all can let me know what y'all think is Meek Mill's best work of all time. That's just my opinion. And to the last topic I want to talk about, and this is something that just came up, I believe, this past week as well, and that is this king of R&B talk that Jacquees sparked up and Tory Lanez responded to, saying he challenged Jacquees and stuff like that. Now, the king of R&B. Let's talk about this. I'm assuming that they're talking about, as of right now, who is the king of R&B. And I'm trying to figure out, when did Chris Brown stop making music? When did Chris Brown stop making music? Y'all let me know when that happened. Because when Jacquees said that he's the king of R&B, and then Tory Lanez tried to come back and say that, I'm like, Tory Lanez, you're half rapper, half R&B, my guy. No. Now, you make some very good R&B tracks, but no, none of y'all are on Chris Brown's level. I'm sorry. I don't know when this notion started that you guys are at the top. I know what you're talking about right now. You're not talking about like overall, because overall is, I mean, we could go through a bunch of artists that could be like the #1 R&B artist of all time, but king of R&B. But it would be none of you guys at all. You guys aren't even in the conversation. Hell, Chris Brown's in the conversation all time. But right now, I don't see how anyone can say it's not Chris Brown at this point. I mean, the dude, he puts out hit after hit after hit after hit. Now, he has been quiet. It has been a year since he released the Heartbreak on the Full Moon album, which had about 3 or 4 albums on it in total. So he damn near could wait to release an album for another like 4 or 5 years if he wanted to. He's like, hey, look, I gave y'all 3 or 4 albums in one album. Y'all enjoy that shit. Y'all keep playing that shit. But Chris Brown, I don't see why he isn't the king of R&B right now, even though he's had his issues in the past. But I just don't see how anyone else is beating him right now. Honestly, I just don't. I don't see it. Usher is not the same artist as he was before he put out that tape this past year with Zaytoven, which was terrible. Trash! I don't know why the hell Usher would work with Zaytoven. He needs to stay away from that. Stay away from that. Don't put nothing out like that again. Don't do that. Cause that was oh my god. I don't know where Usher thought he was going with that album. I honestly do not know where he thought he was gonna go with that. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for episode 3 of the hashtag Why Is This News podcast. We had a lot of topics. This is almost an hour-long podcast. So if you're here till this point, I love you. I appreciate you. Like the video while you're at it. Like the podcast. I still do need to work on getting these on SoundCloud and on iTunes and stuff like that, so you guys don't just have to listen to it on YouTube. I do not have you guys probably figured out by now, I did not have that face cam on because I just did not have it on right now. So yeah, I just wanted to be like a real true podcast. You guys just see my face and everything else. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this podcast for this week. I know I'm a little bit. This should have came out on. Probably I want to usually release these on the weekends, but I couldn't. I was busy I had to do other videos. You guys saw the other videos that I've released on YouTube so far. Those were videos that I really wanted to get out first before I really got into the podcast kind of deal. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. You guys leave a like on it. You guys let me know what you guys think. Y'all's comments on the Kanye West and Drake stuff. How you guys feel about how that beef is going. Offset and Cardi B. Do you think they're gonna get back together? Is this all fake? Meek Mill's album. How you guys feel about it after I believe 2 weeks of it being out? How you guys feel about the album? And who do you think honestly is the king of R&B right now? I think it's Chris Brown. Y'all let me know who y'all think it is. And that is going to do it for this podcast. I am out. Peace.